All right, buckle up, everybody, because we are diving into some seriously dark territory today with absolute Batman.
Oh yeah, this one's pretty intense.
It's like, it's like DC's answer to Marvel's Ultimate Universe,
Right.
where they
Yeah.
take like these classic characters and they just give them this like hard, R-rated, violent,
Makeover, yeah.
makeover.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
complete reimagining, and what's really interesting is how they completely reshape Gotham City and all the characters within it.
Yeah, and they don't pull any punches, believe me. This Gotham, it's a nightmare. And I thought, Gotham are always a nightmare, but this takes it to a whole other level.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just the usual crime-ridden streets, right? We're talking about a full-blown, like, out-of-control crime wave.
Yeah.
And spearheading this are, get this, the party animals.
The party animals. I love that name. It's so deceptive
I know, right?
because they're anything but party animals.
No, not at all. Imagine, like, Gotham on the verge of a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
So, okay, into this crazy, chaotic world, we are introduced to Alfred.
Alfred, yeah, you heard that right.
What?
But hold on, because this is not the Alfred we all know and love.
Right, this is a very different Alfred.
Oh, yeah, completely different. This Alfred he's a hardened mercenary. He's working for, like, a super secret organization.
Oh, spooky.
And his initial mission is to observe these party animals, figure out what they're all about.
Okay, makes sense.
But then his bosses, they drop a bombshell on him.
Ooh.
They're like, hey, there's someone else who's really interested in these party animals.
Okay.
And they describe him as a giant bat.
Oh.
Talk about an ominous sign.
Yeah, you don't want to be messing with a giant bat.
No, not at all.
So, while all of this is going on with Alfred, we cut to Bruce Wayne.
Oh,
Because what would a Batman story be without Bruce Wayne? And where is he? He's at the gym, of course.
of course he is.
Just like pulverizing a punching bag.
Just working out that billionaire angst.
Oh, yeah, just like so much pent-up rage.
Channeling it all into physical strength.
But here's the thing. The gym is owned by Croc.
Right. But not the Croc, not the supervillain Croc we all know.
No.
Just a regular guy named Croc.
A gym owner Croc.
In this universe, yeah.
They really like to play with our expectations in this absolute universe, don't they?
They do, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It keeps you guessing.
Okay, hold on to your batarangs for this one, because it's
no.
a doozy. Bruce's childhood friends. You ready for this?
Hit me.
Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, and Catwoman.
Oh, wow.
That's his crew.
Talk about a messed up friend group, huh?
That is like the most dysfunctional friend group I've ever heard of in my life.
But it really flips the whole dynamic we're used to in the Batman universe, doesn't it?
Yeah, how do you even process that?
It makes you wonder how these relationships might evolve in this much darker and more intense setting.
I'm dying to know how that happened. Like, how did they all meet? Were they like the Gotham City Goonies or something? Yeah. But before we get to unpack that, Gotham takes another turn for the worst, because apparently it wasn't bad enough already.
You think you've hit rock bottom, and then Gotham says, hold my beer.
Oh, yeah.
So this new villain, Black Mask, explodes onto the scene.
Black Mask.
Now, this guy is bad news. He starts taking out, like, the established mob bosses.
Oh, no.
Maroni, Falcone, gone. Just like that.
Oh, wow.
He basically seizes control of the entire criminal underworld.
It's like a hostile takeover, but for crime.
Exactly. And this Black Mask, he's a whole different breed of criminal. He's more ruthless, way more unpredictable.
So basically, Gotham's like holding its breath, just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I mean, much.
And that shoe drops in the form of the party animals deciding to attack a public assembly.
Oh, no.
And I'm not making this up, Mayor Gordon is trying to, like, calm the terrified citizens.
Hey, Gordon.
Trying to keep it together while these masked maniacs are running wild.
You can just feel the tension, the fear in the air. It's total chaos. People running, screaming. It's just, nightmare.
And just when all hope seems lost, bam, absolute Batman makes his grand entrance.
Of course he does.
I'm talking swooping in from the darkness, hanging upside down.
Classic Batman.
Oh, yeah, he's going full-on theatrical. And get this, he delivers this, like, bone-chilling warning to Barbara Gordon.
Oh.
He says, don't open this door no matter what you hear.
Whoa.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a very effective introduction, full of suspense and dread.
Oh, yeah. He's not just Batman, he's like a creature of the night.
Right. He's a symbol of fear, and it really leans into that.
And he doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk.
Oh, no, this Batman, he is brutal. We're not talking your father's Batman here.
No utility belt full of gadgets, it's a whole different arsenal.
Forget batarangs and grappling hooks. This guy, he's got gauntlets with blades, a batarang that's basically an axe. He's not messing around.
I'm getting scared just listening to you describe this.
And the way he uses them, it's like watching a force of nature. Yeah.
Throws criminals through windows, smashes them into poles. It's all about punishment. It's all about inflicting pain.
You know, it makes you wonder if this is really what a hero looks like in this messed up Gotham.
Right. I mean, is this the only way to fight evil?
And poor Alfred. He's caught in the middle of all of this, right?
Oh, yeah. Alfred's got his work cut out for him.
He's got orders to stop Batman.
Right. But you can almost see the gears turning in his head.
Yeah.
Like he's thinking, okay, this Batman, he's terrifying, but damn, he gets results.
Right.
It raises some interesting questions about whether a hero can be too brutal. Is there a line that even Batman shouldn't cross?
You know, and speaking of lines that shouldn't be crossed, let's talk about this Batman's origin story because, oh boy, it's a doozy.
Oh yeah, buckle up. This one's wild.
So it all goes back, as it often does, to that fateful night at the zoo.
Of course.
You see the shooting, the deaths of Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Wait, the deaths?
Well, almost. In this reality, Martha Wayne survives. Oh, wow. That changes everything.
It's like, imagine the ripple effects of that.
Right. That throws everything we know about Bruce Wayne's journey into question.
So Thomas Wayne, right before he dies, what are his last words to Bruce?
Now tell me.
Don't open this door, no matter what you hear. Chilling. Drink it.
Oh, man.
And you could practically draw a straight line from that trauma to Batman's warning to Barbara Gordon all those years later.
Absolutely. The impact of that night, that loss, it's woven into every fiber of this Batman.
Yeah, he is carrying some serious baggage.
For sure.
So Alfred, he's put all the pieces together. He knows who Batman is, and he tracks Bruce down. He's ready to end it all.
I mean, what choice does he have? Right.
But then, another twist. He finds Bruce, but guess who he's living with?
Oh.
His mother, Martha.
No way. So Martha is alive and Bruce is living with her.
Yeah.
That's a huge twist.
I know, right? Talk about a moral dilemma for Alfred.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even process that?
He can't bring himself to kill Bruce, not in front of Martha.
Right, so now what?
Their encounter is tense, obviously, and it escalates into this crazy showdown.
Of course it does.
And during the showdown, guess what Bruce does?
I don't know what.
He takes Alfred's shotgun and converts it into a non-lethal weapon that fires metal bats.
Metal bats.
Metal bats.
Wow, that's creative.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to be on the receiving end of that.
I think that's safe to say.
And that's how Batman escapes, on Alfred's stolen motorcycle, by the way, with these giant bat-like wings.
He's got wings now.
Oh yeah, they're like tattered and leathery.
Okay, so he can fly.
It's more like gliding, but yeah, it's pretty freaky.
I bet.
But wait, there's one more twist. Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier?
There's more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So remember how Alfred was originally sent to Gotham to track someone down?
Yeah.
Well, we finally find out who that mystery person is. Are you ready for this? It's the Joker.
The Joker. So he's the big bad of this story.
And this isn't just any Joker. This is a Joker who never laughs.
Never laughs.
Never laughs.
Okay, that's creepy.
Right.
That's like next level Joker.
Just so unsettling.
And it just makes the whole story even more intriguing.
Oh, absolutely. Because now I'm like, what's going to happen when these two forces collide?
Right. Like this Batman who's already so brutal, so driven by vengeance. What's going to happen when he faces off against the ultimate agent of chaos?
It's like, how much darker can things get? I don't know, but I'm definitely hooked.
Me too. This is going to be epic.
Oh, I know it.
No! Oh, okay, so where do we go from here?
Well, I think it's time to dive even deeper into this twisted world, explore the characters, the themes, the violence, and try to make sense of it all.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
You know, it's really interesting how this Joker reveal at the end of part 1 just adds another layer of intrigue to the whole story. It's like they're setting us up for this massive showdown, right? This battle for the soul of Gotham.
Totally. And speaking of the soul of Gotham, I can't get over how they've just completely transformed this city. It's like they took everything we know about Gotham and then just like dialed it up to 11.
It's like Gotham on steroids. It's familiar, but also completely alien at the same time.
Yeah. It's like a twisted reflection of the Gotham we know. And it really makes you think, like, can this city even be saved?
Especially with this new Batman, right? This version who's so much more brutal.
Yeah, it's a question that keeps coming up, like, is he a force for good? Or is he just part of the problem?
Yeah. Is he actually making things worse? Because, let's be honest, he is pretty terrifying.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely not the cuddly Batman we're used to.
Not at all. And you have to wonder, like, what kind of impact does this have on the people around him?
Right. Like, imagine finding out your childhood friend is this, like, super violent vigilante.
Or that your son, who you thought was dead, is now running around terrorizing criminals with, knives on his fists.
It's got to mess you up, right?
For sure. And it makes you think about how these relationships can even survive in this kind of environment. Like, can you even have a normal conversation with Batman after seeing him, snap someone's arm in half?
Yeah, like, hey, Bruce, how was your day?
Yeah.
Oh, the usual. Broke a few bones, instill some fear. What about you?
Right. Pass the milk, please.
Oh, my God. Okay, but seriously, let's talk about this whole brutal Batman thing for a second, because the sources really emphasize this aspect of him. Like, every move he makes, it's like it's designed to just inflict maximum pain.
Oh, yeah, there's no holding back with this guy. It's not about taking down criminals with, calculated precision.
Right.
This is about punishment. It's about making them suffer.
I mean, do you remember that scene where he, chopped off that guy's hand?
Yeah, and then he just told him to, run to the hospital and hope for the best.
Brutal. Like, where is the compassion? Where's the line between hero and villain?
Exactly, because at that point, is he really any better than the criminals he's fighting?
It's like he's become a creature of the night himself,
Yeah.
Like, remember that scene where he's hanging upside down in the shadows? Pure nightmare fuel.
Oh, yeah, and it's intentional. They're playing with our primal fears, they're turning Batman into this, monstrous figure.
And they really play up the whole, demonic bat imagery with this Batman, too.
Oh, yeah, like those wings.
Yes. The wings.
Yeah.
What's the deal with those? Like, can he actually fly in this universe? Or is it more like a gliding thing?
I think it's more like gliding, but they're described as being tattered and leathery and almost demonic looking.
Right. They're not like those sleek aerodynamic wings that you see in some Batman comics. They're like these jagged, almost like primal wings.
It definitely adds to this savage, almost animalistic quality that he has.
Yeah. And even his costume is different, right? Like, forget the high-tech batsuit. This is straight up armor.
Yeah, it's covered in spikes and blades and chains. It's almost medieval looking.
It's like he's a knight, but instead of protecting the innocent, he's waging war on crime.
Exactly, and his fighting style matches the costume, It's brutal, it's up close, it's personal. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Or bloody, apparently.
Yeah.
Those gauntlets with the blades on them, I mean, come on.
Yeah, those are terrifying. I get it, he's trying to protect Gotham, but does he really need to be that violent?
I don't know, it's making me question everything I thought I knew about Batman.
Right, because it's at what point does the fight for justice just become another form of brutality?
Yeah, it's a tough question. And it's like they're holding up a mirror to society, and saying, look what happens when things get really bad.
Right, this is what happens when the system fails, when people lose hope.
And in this Gotham, it feels like the system has definitely failed.
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings us back to the Joker, the ultimate agent of chaos, the embodiment of everything that's wrong with this world. What's going to happen when he clashes with this new, even more brutal Batman?
It's a recipe for disaster. Two forces of darkness locked in this eternal struggle. I can't even imagine the carnage that's about to unfold.
It's like the writers are setting us up for this, epic showdown, a battle for the very soul of Gotham. But the question is, can a city this broken, this corrupted, even be saved?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is there any hope for redemption in this absolute universe? Or is it just doomed to descend further into darkness?
I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I have a feeling it's not going to be pretty. One of the things that keeps coming back to me about this absolute Batman is how it just, completely messes with our expectations of these characters. I mean, Bruce Wayne and the villains being childhood friends, it's just, wow.
Yeah, it's a real mind bender, isn't it? It makes you wonder, what were their childhoods even like?
Right, were they having tea parties with the Penguin and playing hide and seek with the Riddler?
I mean, can you imagine those playdates? It's so bizarre and fascinating at the same time, and it really makes you rethink their entire dynamic,
Oh, totally. And then you throw in the whole Martha Wayne being alive thing, and it's like, whoa, okay, now we're really going off the rails.
Right, talk about a curveball. Just completely changes the whole Batman origin story as we know it.
It really does. And it raises so many questions like, how does a mother even cope with that kind of trauma? Seeing her husband murdered, her son basically disappearing into the darkness.
Yeah, and how does that shape Bruce, knowing that his mother is out there, somewhere in this broken city?
It's got to be a constant source of both comfort and worry, right?
Yeah.
Like, on the one hand, he has this piece of his family back, this connection to his past.
Right.
But on the other hand, she's a constant reminder of everything he's lost and everything he's fighting to protect.
Exactly. And think about the impact on her, knowing that your son is out there risking his life every night as this brutal, vigilante.
It's got to be heartbreaking for her.
Oh, absolutely. It just adds this whole other layer of complexity to their relationship.
And speaking of complex relationships, let's talk about Alfred for a second, because this poor guy is just stuck in the middle of this whole mess.
Yeah, Alfred's got it rough in this one.
He's got this loyalty to the Waynes, but he's also got this duty to his organization.
Right. And those two things are completely at odds with each other now.
So he's grappling with some serious moral dilemmas, like, does he follow orders and take down Batman knowing that it could just, like, completely destroy Martha?
Yeah.
Or does he turn his back on his mission and risk everything to protect, the last remnants of the family that he swore to serve?
It's a tough call. There's no easy answer there.
I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Joker just lurking in the background, this version that never laughs.
Yeah. That's just creepy.
It really is. It's like they took everything that's unsettling about the Joker and just, like, amplified it.
Yeah, that lack of laughter, that unpredictability, it's almost like he's even more dangerous than the Joker we're used to.
Because you just don't know what he's going to do next.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I can't even imagine what their encounters are going to be like. This Batman, who's so fueled by rage and trauma, facing off against this Joker who's like the embodiment of chaos.
It's a recipe for, like, absolute mayhem. I'm almost scared to see what happens.
Right. And it all comes back to that question that we've been wrestling with this whole time, like, can violence really save Gotham?
Yeah, is this level of brutality actually justified? Or is it just making things worse?
It's a question that has no easy answers.
Yeah.
And it's something that we all have to grapple with, not just in the context of this story, but in our own lives, too. I mean, how far are we willing to go to fight for what we believe in? And at what point do we become the very thing we're fighting against? These are big questions,
They are. And I think that's one of the things that makes this absolute Batman story so compelling, is that it forces us to confront these questions head on. It's not a neat and tidy story with a happy ending. It's a story that stays with you, that makes you think.
It definitely does. And it leaves you with this feeling of, like, unease, like a sense that things are far from over and that even if Batman wins, Gotham might still lose.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale, a reminder that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that even our heroes can be corrupted by the darkness they're fighting against.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of absolute Batman. What a ride.
Yeah, that was intense.
But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Because that's what makes these deep dives so much fun, is that they challenge us, they make us think, and they leave us wanting more. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never be afraid to dive deep into the darkness.